with participants joining us physically and remotely via Zoom.
Keeping in line with the rich tradition and culture of Sri Lanka, to light the oil lamp and to begin today's proceedings, I invite Professor Jayanthala Ratnasekara, Vice Chancellor of Uvavelas University, Professor M.D. Lamavansa, Vice Chancellor of the University of Peradeniya, Mr. G.H. Abevira, Dean, Faculty of Management, Professor H.M.S.K. Herath, Dean, Faculty of Animal Sciences and Export Agriculture, Dr. Lalit Velamadage from Lanka Social Ventures, Professor Roshan Yapa, UBL Director, University of Peradeniya, Professor Amila Ratnayaka, UBL Director, Uvavelas University, Dr. S. Maheswaran, Summit Co-Chair, University of Peradeniya, Dr. Kumudu Jayawardena, Summit Co-Chair, Uvavelas University, Mr. M.F. Hibatul Karim, Registrar, Ms. K.T.J. Pereira, Bursa, Dr. Janaka Siambalapitiya, Project Coordinator for AHEAD DOR, and Acting Librarian, Dr. Kumari Kulatunga.
Thank you. Let us now rise for the Uvavelas University anthem.
Thank you. I now invite Dr. S. Maheswaran, Summit Co-Chair from the University of Peradeniya, to welcome you to Sri Lankan Social Enterprise Summit 2022.
Thank you. Good morning, all of you. Reverend Sir, our chief guest of today's event, Professor M.T. Lavavan Sir, Vice Chancellor, University of Peradeniya. Our guest of honor, Professor Jayendalal Ratnasekara, Vice Chancellor, Uvavesala University. Our keynote speaker, Professor Jai Vijayavardhana, UQ Business School, University of Queensland, Australia. And Professor Darshana Japa, the Director, Business Incubation and Technology Transfer Office of the University of Peradeniya. Also, Professor Amila Ratnayaka, the Director, UBL Cell, Uvavesala University. All the deans of the faculties, heads of the departments, all academic and administrative staff members, and dear students and all presenters. On behalf of the organizing committee of the Social Enterprise Summit 2022, I warmly welcome you all for this opening event of Social Entrepreneurship Summit 2022. This event is jointly organized by University of Peradeniya and the Uvavesala University, together with several other partners. This event has two important sessions. One is the research session, and another one is pitching event. The last year, this event was held in Postgraduate Institute of Science, University of Peradeniya, and there were several presenters and also many pitching events happened. And the pitching event is a very good platform for our potential entrepreneurs to find investment partners. Social Entrepreneurship Summit is a very young event, initiated only last year as an outcome of social enterprise project of British Council, where our both universities were partners together with Glasgow Caledonian University and other social entrepreneurship ecosystem players such as Lankan Social Ventures, Impact Investment, National Enterprise Development Authority, and several other partners. Vice Chancellor says, the building social entrepreneurship ecosystem and the collaborations of this nature with all interested parties is crucial for making a reality about social entrepreneurship in Sri Lanka. Collaboration between our two universities is much easier because many of your staff members are the alumni of University of Peradeniya. For example, Dr. Kumudu is one of our students at the University of Peradeniya. So both of our universities are committed to integrate social entrepreneurship into our teaching, learning, research, and community engagement projects. And also, this summit, in addition to this summit, as a result of this British Council project, we also going to offer advanced certificate course in social entrepreneurship in the University of Peradeniya. It is also going to be offered with the collaboration of Uvavesala University. And in this course, we will train our graduate students to write business proposal targeting some social issues. We will provide them sufficient training in order to bring them social entrepreneurs. So, and also this particular event also identified as one of the local event of the World Social Enterprise Forum, and there was a community hub that was held yesterday. It was held very successfully. We have to thank Dr. Lalit Villamedage, who was coordinating this particular event. And one of the important goal of this particular event is to bring awareness about this particular concept among academics and other societies, and also to establish an important learning dialogue on how the private sector firms can create social change. As you know, increasingly the social problems are solved by these business solutions. The business can address social issues. Take example of fair trade business. They find a lasting solution for poverty. You all may heard about Professor Mohammad Juni's Grameen Bank, which lends microcredits for alleviating poverty in Bangladesh. Similarly, in India, you find a lot of social entrepreneurs. And if I say only few, like Dr. Venkataswamy's initiatives to end blindness in India through 80% free cataract surgeries, and also Asoka's global initiatives for social change. So in addition to that, even in Sri Lanka, there are a lot of such citizens or individuals contributing for humanity and social change. So more than ever in the history of Sri Lanka, now we need the social entrepreneurship in today's context. Now, you know that we have been talking about several problems, particularly the shortage of food, shortage of agrochemical, shortage of energy, and malnutrition on the other hand. In order to find the solution for all these problems, we need to have entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are the one who can identify the problem as entrepreneurial opportunities. So if we want to put this country in a progressive path, we need more entrepreneurs. So this particular event will create an awareness about this particular concept, social enterprise, so that and we can jointly work together to bring this concept a reality. So with this opening remark, we are pleased and honored in welcoming our chief guest of Sri Lanka Social Entrepreneurship Summit 2022, Professor M.T. Lamavansha, Vice Chancellor, University of Peradeniya. Sir, please accept our heartfelt welcomes for this event. Your acceptance of this invitation strongly reflects how you are interested in this particular concept, and also your interest in community engagement. We also warmly welcome our guest of honor, Professor Jayanthalal Ratnasekara, Vice Chancellor, UoVesela University, for this event. Your participation dignifies this event. We are thankful for your encouragement and your participation for this event. I also want to emphasize that UoVesela University is one of the few universities which has stated in their mission statement, you are dedicated to promote graduate entrepreneurs. Just that is something we need to highlight it, we need to appreciate it. Also, we are very much grateful to see how you are promoting this field as an interdisciplinary teaching in all faculties. Those are something we should learn from your end. We also delighted to welcome our keynote speaker, a distinguished scholar and the researcher in the field of social entrepreneurship, Professor Jai Wijayawardena from the University of Queensland, Australia. You are indeed a strong strength for us. We still remember your very influential keynote speech that you have delivered last year at Peradeniya. On behalf of this organizing committee, we wish to extend our warm welcome to other deans of the faculties, heads of the departments, all academics, and all administrative staff members of the University of UoVesela, and all presenters. Finally, I would like to extend my welcome to all members of organizing committee from this UWSL end. They are the people who have worked hard to make this event reality under the leadership of Dr. Kumudu. And I extend my strong welcome for you. And finally, I wish the summit a success. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Maheswaran. Professor Jayantalal Ratnasekara, Vice Chancellor of UWLS University. Sir, the floor is yours to address the gathering.
Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of UWLS University, let me also warmly welcome you all to the Social Enterprise Summit 2022, organized jointly by University of Peradeniya, UWLS University, and Lankan Social Ventures. Special welcome to the Vice Chancellor, University of Peradeniya, Professor Lamavansa, the keynote speaker, Professor J. Vijayawardena from University of Queensland, and Dr. Lalit Velamadage, Lankan Social Ventures, and our colleagues from Peradeniya, and all the other, those who are present here physically, as well as those who are joining online. The UWLS University was established in 2005 with a clear vision to be the center of excellence for value addition to the national resource base. All our academic programs, as Dr. Maheswaran clearly mentioned, are multidisciplinary and focused on entrepreneurial education. Of course, we do not expect all UW graduates to become entrepreneurs, but we try our best to inculcate entrepreneurial skills in each and every graduate of the UWLS University. All of us are aware about the difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur. But some of us do not have a clear understanding about the concept of social entrepreneurship. Even today at the breakfast table, we discussed how confusing this concept is about the social entrepreneurship still in Sri Lanka. Of course, my misunderstanding and confusions have been cleared long ago by my colleague, Dr. Kumudu Jayawardena, telling me every day, this is social enterprise. The Wikipedia defines social enterprise as an approach by individuals or groups in which they develop, fund, and implement innovative solutions for social, cultural, and environmental problems. Social enterprise, either non-profit or the profit is going to the enterprise itself for its sustainability and further development. This is where we have to understand. Of course, Dr. Velamadage said that in the morning that there are so many people from the private sector, the entrepreneurs, those who have become at a later stages as social entrepreneurs. Or those social workers have become social entrepreneurs. But what we have to understand is that social enterprise is an enterprise which start or focus on solving a social problem. If we look at the socio-economic crisis, the current socio-economic crisis of the country, we can see the significance of today's summit under the theme of elevating social enterprises as socio-economic recovery strategy. I repeat, elevating social enterprises as socio-economic recovery strategy, socio-economic recovery strategy in times of crisis. I do hope that this summit will come up with some innovative solutions for the socio-economic recovery of our country. While thanking all the collaborative partners for having untiringly worked to put this workshop or the summit together, I wish Social Enterprise Summit 2022 a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Professor M.D. Lamawansa, Vice Chancellor of the University of Peradeniya, to the podium to address the gathering.
Reverend Sir, good morning to all of you. Co-chairs Dr. Kumudu Jayawardena and Dr. Maheshwaran, representing the two universities involved today, have done a wonderful job. Thank you very much for all the hospitality and everything, Kumudu. Professor Jayantalal Ratnasekara, as a Vice Chancellor, is leading this from your university. Of course, and he has been a long-standing friend of mine and also a very worthy fellow Vice Chancellor among all the Vice Chancellors in the system. I thought all this time, the Peradeniya University is unmatchable to the natural beauty. There are two other contenders now, Uva and Sabaragamuwa. So Peradeniya has to do a lot of work to maintain our position. And the fact that there are very senior academic administrators and the academics, and also your own registrar, a good friend of Peradeniya, Mr. Karim, signifies the importance of the theme that you are discussing today. We have got an eminent speaker as the keynote speaker this morning. And co-chairs and Professor Ratnasekara, I really appreciate your invitation for me to be the chief guest at this event. As the chief guest, I am not going to develop a roadmap or enter into a fierce discussion on the meaning of innovation, enterprise, or social entrepreneurship is. Professor Ratnasekara touched on that. Something which has stuck in my mind as a medical professional is that one of the greatest surgeons in this part of the world, Professor Adib Rizvi in Karachi did. So he identified a social problem. Social problem was there were many in Pakistan dying with chronic kidney disease due to stones, infections, and many things. They don't have any funds. So he basically, to an outsider, it looks like a charity hospital. But how do you earn and solve and maintain and solve the problems of people? He earned from people who can afford. Anyone who doesn't have money is treated free of charge. There are donations, and also there are other entities that he has established to continue to earn. In my opinion, he has solved several problems in the society that he serves. Medical problems, economic problems, because he has recruited more than 1,000 staff from the community, and they maintain their families and all that. Coming back to the university's role in social entrepreneurship basically means that what is our role in solving societal problems? we have the wrong notion sometimes that we are here to teach, students are here to learn. Leave alone the other skills that we need to nurture to contribute to the society, the very same society that fund us to have a decent life. So that, if you look at that argument, it is incumbent upon us, therefore, to help the society and improve the society, without which we cannot survive ourselves, because there won't be anybody to support us with our needs. So that it is not pure teaching and research. Therefore, the university system has recognized, however, unfortunately, faintly, hitherto, what our contribution to the society should be. For this purpose, the universities have great freedom. We can decide what courses, what training programs that we need to establish, whom to recruit, planning of our infrastructure, and promotions, professorship, you name it, and we have. And also the means of earning, which in turn can contribute to the society. If there are no rules and regulations existing as per the UGC standards, University Council can make their own rules and regulations to support these things. Sometime when we complain about so-called lack of autonomy, but have we used our autonomy, both the students and the staff, to contribute in today's, this summit's context, to the society? In solving societal issues, teaching and research play a pivotal role. There is no doubt about it. Translating or building on that teaching and the research in the direction of innovation. And the innovation, as students and young teachers, we refer to technical innovations, not matters related to the social issues. Innovative ideas, Dr. Maheshwaran mentioned about Grameen Bank. There was university input also into that concept. It was an innovative approach. It was not innovation related to a machine or a lab technique. This innovation needs to be translated into meaningful outcomes. That is something we universities in general lack. As students, you also need to understand that then only we can address the problem. Without identifying the problem, how do we do that? Universities, by and large, engage with the society in 3 different ways, not necessarily social entrepreneurship. We do it by ourselves. Help the society. We organize things, maybe train people, even in entrepreneurship. So that is by ourselves we do things. Or else we get invited to contribute to as one of the events and the programs organized by someone else outside the entity. It may be state or non-state sector entities. But what is most important and pressing for the universities, however, is to come to partnership with the other entities. Thereby, we understand each other's strengths, weaknesses, and the needs, and try to solve problems. In that way, even this program, Peradeniya and Uvavelasa, has established and running is collaboration. And we saw what some of your initiatives are going to be, or we heard. So there is inter-university collaboration, which is coming up more and more now, is happening. Now we have several partners, as you see in your brochures, I think about 6 or 7 partners, and the British Council is well into it. And that is a very good collaboration. Something, however, lacking in our universities is that intra-university, not inter-university collaboration. To solve societal problems, like we will say, I refer to my own university, any given community has problems related to agriculture, engineering, veterinary medicine, dental, science, education, you name it. And those are the problems the society face. University like Peradeniya should be able to contribute to a defined community in trying to solve all those problems they face. That could be the field or the lab for the students to learn from. To achieve such targets like you, we have established a cell known as Blito. Darshana is here, who is doing a tremendous amount of work in that direction. And one project that we are embarking on is that in Palekale, we have a farm, we have a coffee plantation. We have not been maintaining that properly. There is a need for the community in that area to have more jobs. And also we are planning to improve the coffee plantation, which is about 200 years old, Darshan, I think, and add value to the yield and have some products. Many universities have such products. And I know Sabaragamu has got bee honey, Peradeniya has got Kitul honey, for example. And then working with the community, and there will be some income, if for not for anybody to take home. Part of it will go to the society and part will come to the university. Then as an extension, we have been offered by the government to work with the community in Nuwara. The government support with land for cultivation. We, the university, give them know-how, get involved with them in a serious way, and that the external funding agency is likely to establish infrastructure facilities. Maybe that I'm too optimistically forecasting for the future, but considering the renewed interest of our academia and others involved, I'm sure this can become a reality. Universities get benefited by these things. One is that we will have a field lab for our training. We earn also. During these difficult times, How University of Peradeniya survives is through the extra earnings that we had collected over the years. Otherwise, all the work of maintaining more than 18,000 students with 600 odd buildings and multi-million bills, we could not have achieved if not for such earnings. There are other issues, finally, the university is facing related to the concept that you are discussing today. We are not focused, as I said before, and we are short of trained people. Therefore, we have to train people. What you are doing in that way, you train students and the staff and the funds. The funds can come from many sources. Expert like you coming from Colombo and contributing to this has a value. So that is fun. You travel and you spend your time to train people, contribute to them. And also there are CSR projects. We need not to confuse CSR with what you are trying to do. I'm sure private enterprises would contribute if there is a meaningful initiatives by established entities like universities for the social entrepreneurship program. With those few words, although I would have loved to stay here the whole day and beyond, we have other serious commitments back at Peradeniya, which I cannot hand over to anyone else. Therefore, very soon I'll be leaving. And I really appreciate the commitment of Uva University to organize this conference, SIP Summit, and also wish you the very best for the summit. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, sir. Time has now arrived for the keynote address. To introduce the keynote speaker, I invite Dr. Janaka Siambala Pittiya, Project Coordinator, AHEAD DOR.
Good morning, Reverend Thero, distinguished invitees, conference presenters, my colleagues, and dear students. It's now time to pay attention to our keynote speaker, and it is indeed an honor for me to introduce to you the distinguished gentleman who is our keynote speaker in this morning. Professor J. Veerawardena at UQ Business School of University of Queensland, Australia, is a leading researcher in strategic marketing with specialization in the role of dynamic capabilities in innovation-based competitive strategy. He has extensively published impactful papers in reputed journals, won highly competitive Australian Research Council discovery grants, edited special issues, represented his core research expertise in editorial boards of reputed journals, led special topic sessions, and taken leadership roles in reputed international conferences. He is internationally reputed for highly impactful publications in social innovation and social value creation in non-profit organizations. His papers are highly cited by other researchers, and his current citation exceeds 10,000. Over the last few years, Professor J has delivered keynote presentations in reputed international forums, including Oxford University, Stern Business School, New York, and Wellington Business School, New Zealand. He has taught courses in both undergraduate and Master of Business Management programs in both class and flexible delivery modes. Since 2009, he has been teaching a course in new product management that he developed from his expertise in product innovation management. This course has been highly popular among university students in Australia. with such a glittering and outstanding set of achievements, it is an honor to introduce you to the keynote speaker in this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Professor J. Veeravardhana to the SLACE 2022. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for that generous introduction, Dr. Siambala Pitia, Reverend Sirs, and also the co-chairs of this forum, valuable forum for the opportunity for me to talk to you today. And also let me acknowledge the distinguished guests, Professor Lamavansa, Vice Chancellor, University of Peradeniya, and Professor Jayanthala Ratnasekara, Vice Chancellor, Uvavelas University, and everyone who is here today for this important forum. Let me share my slides of this my presentation. Can you see them?
Yes, sir, we can see that.
Yeah. Okay. The topic I was given is about the overcoming challenges of the external environment. Now, the two the distinguished guests, Professor Lamavansa, mentioned a very interesting case study, cited an example from India about an innovative social enterprise. I believe that is Arvind Hospital in South India, which is a Harvard Business Review case study. And also Professor Ratnasekara provided a very interesting and very meaningful definition of social enterprises. So these two, these thoughts are setting the scene for my presentation today. And what I'm going to do today is to look at a case study from our neighboring India, and try to understand and take you through the challenges they are facing in their current environment, and also through that to understand the dilemmas faced by the social enterprises. Now, let us move on. So we know what the social enterprises are. They differ from other social purpose organizations, and they are different from non-profits. People argue that there are no pure non-profits anymore because the non-profits were based on the donor model. That is, the governments provided money, and there were donations, there were philanthropies they were supporting. And people like well-known Mother Teresa, they had no problem. They had the backing of the church. They undertook social work. But today, this model is not sustainable. That is, there are so many social issues and require social purpose organizations, and there are the competition for the donations, and also the government support has changed, and they are not supporting non-profits anymore. So we argue that, as Professor Ratnasekara said, they are enterprises, and also they have a social purpose. So they are also suggested as a more effective alternative to traditional public and non-profit organizations in addressing social problems. So you can see there's a big range of social enterprises. Now in Sri Lanka and in some of the in the Asian region, we are looking at non-profits that are becoming that are becoming social enterprises or small-scale social enterprises. But theoretically, you can see there's a large range of social enterprises. Some of them are known as social businesses, cited by Professor Mohammad Yunus, such as the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, and also his famous Danone yogurt project to alleviate malnutrition in Bangladesh. So basically, you have non-profits. They are still there, reliant on earned, and now they are moving on to earned income strategies. They are undertaking commercial activities to sustain their business model. And there are for-profit organizations with a social mission. Now, this is an interesting one. And you can see this in many Western countries. And there are hybrid organizations, that is for-profit and non-profit components, including non-profit with for-profit subsidy. They're very complicated organizational forms. And there's another interesting format in the US and UK. They are known as community interest companies or limited liability companies, L3C, low profit limited liability companies. Basically, these are about CSR projects. Big companies, they want to undertake social value creating activities, but the shareholders can sue if something go wrong. The directors are liable. Therefore, now there is legal protection through all these subsidiaries. Now, whatever it is, that's the core dilemma social enterprises are facing is balancing mission and money. Now, I remember Dr. Kumudu Jayawardana's doctoral study looked at this as dual value creation. This is increasingly evident because nonprofits are moving into commercial activities. Now, therefore, it has created a very interesting situation. Now, one writer has said it is about bowing before two gods. You are praying for two gods. This is a very interesting scenario here. And now in Christianity, there's only one God. So when there are two gods, it is causing a problem. Of course, in Sri Lanka, we are familiar with many gods. We are talking about, famous Hatarawaram Devaru, and then we are talking about Tistun Kodiak Devatavu. So we have no problem in dealing with many, many gods. But here, the scenario is about now social enterprise has to look after the social purpose on one side. That is to look after maybe the disabled people or the people who are falling through the cracks of the capitalist system, maybe underprivileged people, the farmers poor farmers in the African region. And at the same time, now we have to undertake commercial activities. Here you have to look after commercial interest. Now there's an interesting example. In Australia, we have, in Sydney, there's a well-known social enterprise known as Social Ventures Australia. And what they are doing is they are supporting disadvantaged people like disabled and also the refugees and women. And this organization has undertaken to repair computers for a very big bank, that is the Commonwealth Bank Australia. So on one side, they have to look after the commercial interest. That is, you have to look after your client and you're going in that direction, you are making money. At the same time, you have to look after this your social mission. That is, look after the benefits, the welfare of the refugees and other socially disadvantaged people. Now they are getting donations from the public as well. The thing is, if we are going to, now this is a balancing act here. If you are moving into commercial activities more and more, then you are moving away from the social purpose. And so people will think that, okay, why should we donate money to this organization? Because you are making money. And at the same time, so if you don't look after the commercial interest, and your enterprise won't be sustainable. So when we are moving away from your primary mission, primary social mission, people argue that there's a thing called mission drift. So it is a balancing act social enterprises are facing. And today, the key criteria for the success of a social enterprise is about how I'm going to balance these trade-offs. That means managing commercial activities to deliver the ultimate purpose of the organization, that is to deliver your social mission. Now, so there are many social enterprise examples. I thought of selecting this interesting case study from neighboring India. It's a taxi service started to empower women, socially disadvantaged women. It is known as Priyadarshini taxi service, very familiar name to us. I mean, not a difficult term to understand. Now, the founder says that the name Priyadarshini means, of course, we know that, a pleasant sight. That means she argued that women are a pleasant sight. Of course, we have no problem with that. I think many of us agree. And and at the same time, so the founder says that well-known Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi had a first name and the middle name that was Priyadarshini, and a highly respected Indian leader, Nehru, used to call her with that name. So with that, so it is providing very positive connotations to the people of India, and also it is creating some positive image to the people, and it is very important to the Indian society. So it was founded by a woman called Sosiben Shah, a businesswoman. They had some investments, they had assets, and she is a well-established lawyer, particularly in expertise in women's rights, and has been a social worker. She saw the opportunity of empowering women, and that's an important cause. So she knew the challenges they had to face in that process. They claim that it is a safe and viable alternative for women tourists, women in general, and families. They are catering to people, women who are seeking a safe mode of transportation, preferably a woman driver, and also for the in general families who are looking for a safer alternative than going with an unknown person. So let me play this video. This will set the scene for our presentation and for us to understand the challenges they are facing.
कविता शिवाजी सिन्ने, 2 वर्ष झालं मी गाडी चालवते. आता 30-32 वर्ष झाली मुंबईमध्ये राहते. मुंबई ही एक अशी सिटी आहे की तिथे लेडीजला काही जेंट्सला पण कधी प्रॉब्लेम होणार नाही. 24 तास मुली बाहेर फिरतात. काही मुलींना कमी शिकलेल्या असतात, काही शिकलेल्याच नसतात, तर त्यांना जॉब करायचा प्रॉब्लेम होतो. हल्ली कुठेही जॉब मागायला गेलं तरी हजारो प्रश्न उभे असतात की तुम्ही किती शिकला, तुम्ही कुठले कोर्स केलेला आहे, तुम्हाला कॉम्प्युटर येतो का, तुम्हाला इंग्लिश येतं का. करायचं भरपूर काही असतं, पण कसं करायचं हा विचार करतात.
मैं प्रियदर्शनी के साथ इस तरह जुड़ी हूँ. सबसे पहले मेरे हस्बैंड ने मुझे लाके न्यूज़पेपर दिए. उन्होंने बताया कि लेडीज लोग यहाँ पर जॉब करते हैं और अगर आप करना चाहते हो तो आप भी करो. बोले
27 ईयर तक घर पे बैठी थी, टाइम पास कर रही थी. जितना पढ़ी हूँ उसके हिसाब से सोचा जॉब क्या मिलेगा. देखा, नेट पे सर्च किया, ड्राइविंग दिखा था.
उसके बाद मुझे प्रियदर्शनी का एड्रेस देने के बाद मैं यहाँ पर अच्छे से ट्रेन होकर मैं आज रोड पर गाड़ी चलाती हूँ.
When they come to us, they see a small lining at the end of the tunnel, but how it will translate, even they themselves are not confident. मैंने कोई मैगजीन में या बुक में कहीं पढ़ा था, ऐसा भी है कि जहाँ जॉब मिलता है ड्राइविंग सिखाते हैं. इसमें मुझे लगता नहीं था कि मैं ड्राइविंग सीख पाऊंगी. बाद में यहाँ आने के बाद मैंने ट्रेनिंग लिया. ट्रेनिंग लेने के बाद सीख गई जल्दी से. ज्यावेळेला ट्रेनिंग आमची होते ना, त्यावेळेला मला क्लच समजत नाही, ब्रेक समजत नाही, असं म्हणजे मनात खूप भीती वाटायची. त्याच्यानंतर मग मॅडमने सांगितलं जाऊ दे, स्टेरिंग एकदा हातात आली की नंतर आपोआप बरोबर कळतं की कशी गाडी चालवायची. द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट चॅलेंज हिअर इज कीपिंग द गर्ल्स टुगेदर, टेलिंग देम एव्हरी डे, एव्हरी सिंगल डे टू हेल्प देम कम फॉर द ट्रेनिंग अँड येस, हँड होल्डिंग एट एव्हरी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. मुली आमच्या एवढ्या एक्सपर्ट आहेत ना की त्या कोणाला जुमानत नाही. आणि ट्रेनिंगही असं आहे ना, सेल्फ डिफेन्स ट्रेनिंग आहे, कसं बोलायचं, कसं वागायचं, कसं ड्राईव्ह करायचं, सगळं ट्रेनिंग आहे. त्यामुळे घाबरत तर कुणीच नाही. We select and source the women who really need to be independent, really need to make a livelihood for their daily living. मॅडम बोलले की तुम्ही चांगलं ड्राईव्ह करताय तर तुम्ही काम का नाही करत. तुम्ही कामही करा, तुम्ही म्हणजे तुमचं अर्निंग पण होईल आणि शिवाय तुमचं म्हणजे थोडंसं घराला हातभार लागेल. ऐसा डर लगता था कि मैं पैसे बचा पाऊंगी या नहीं, कैसे मैं करूंगी. सब लोगों ने भी डरा दिया था कि तू गाडी चलाएगी तो कैसे पैसे देगी, तेरे को कर्जा हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा. आतापर्यंत म्हणजे कंपनीच्याच होत्या, तर मॅडमच सारख्या म्हणायच्या, अनिता गाडी घे, अनिता ले लो गाडी, तुम कर सकते हो. मलाच भीती वाटायची, मॅडम नाही होणार मला. आणि ऍक्च्युली त्यांच्याच आशीर्वादाने म्हणता येईल खूप छान चाललंय. गाडी पण मी घेतली, आता मी स्वतःची गाडी चालवते. मग कितना भी मतलब कुछ भी कर रहे हैं, कितनी पढ़ाई भी की हो तो 10-15 हजार से ज्यादा सैलरी नहीं कमा सकते हम लोग. यहाँ पे है तो 20-25, जितनी हम लोग मेहनत करते हैं उतना हम लोग कमा सकते हैं. आज प्रियदर्शनीमुळे त्यांचं घर चालतं टोटली. पहिली जी सिच्युएशन होती डिफरंट होती, त्यांना कोणी अलाउड करत नव्हतं, पण आज त्या त्यांच्या घरी मेट ठेवतात. इथपर्यंत म्हणजे ते इथे हे करू शकतात. त्यामुळे घर सांभाळूनही ते बाहेरचं हे जॉब इझिली करू शकतात.
So what we can see that, it's not a rosy picture, and I selected this case study because it is not a success story yet, and they are yet to be successful. They are in that direction right now, and they are facing a lot of challenges at this stage. So the external challenges are many in the Indian society. When a woman becomes a taxi driver, the barriers to entry, you must have the license, and it's a highly unionized industry. You need a call center backup, and also it is a highly male-dominated industry. Men are power-centric, and they don't like women to come there. They believe that women must be in the kitchen. They must look after the household. You must look after children. And so when a woman come to the industry, there are so much resistance from them. And there's so much societal exclusion, occupational, gender-related cultural norms. For example, stereotyping. And the founder argues that these women must learn, right, to not only avoid potholes on the road, but to avoid the mindset of other drivers. Now, these are the comments they are getting. If you are driving, I need to check my insurance. Will you be able to reverse the car? And why are you using both hands on the steering wheel and leaning forward? Please concentrate on the road. I don't want to die. Now, this is the environment where there are about a million cars on the road every day in Mumbai, and that has buses, cars, and also three-wheelers, all forms of people, and bicycles, all that you have to navigate. And even the family members say, here comes the driver. And so there is social exclusion from their families as well. These drivers say that my family want to hide my profession from relatives. And we have other financial exclusion. A woman can't get a bank loan because many of them never had a bank account to start with. That has become, that shows their backwardness. And also infrastructure, limited access to literacy. Many of them have not sat in a vehicle before, and also many of them can't read a map to understand GPS. So all these are challenges. And also their social exclusion, race-based, tradition, caste-based. And they say, this is an example. One taxi driver said, the men in uniform act like a villain for us. They fine us heavily for the slightest mistake and use of abusive language, bringing us to tears. Men driving four-wheel drives are treated differently. And these people are saying that we are fit only for household work. Even auto drivers and other commercial vehicle drivers throw humiliating and vulgar comments at us. They find it difficult to digest that women are sitting at the wheels and we are in a very challenging situation. So these were the challenges, the societal and the economic challenges the founder had at the beginning. But at the same time, there was some positive. The growth potential of the taxi industry, and also the need for a dedicated taxi service for women and facilities. And also many state governments supporting women empowerment projects. Corporate support. This Tata Trust, initiated by Tata Motors in India, they are supporting these type of projects as part of their CSR initiative. And also, interestingly, Uber and Ola, the shared taxi services, they are increasingly accommodating women drivers. And also, Priyadashini taxi service has some corporate assets. And also, on a very positive note, they got 200 taxi permits from the state government. And so that was a good starting point. So they did very well in social media. They are very active. And these are some of the advertisements. And this is the way they are operating. Only socially disadvantaged women are recruited. Income has to be less than 10,000. And also they are given extensive training. Now, this is highly critical, and also it is a critical factor for these women. It comes as a barrier as well. 3 to 6 months skillful driving, and they are trained on self-defense because there can be sexual assault. You never know who the passenger will be, although there are women supposed to be, and yoga. Now, this is to manage the huge stress they are facing, and art of living verbal communication. And then also they are training in women's rights, motor mechanics, health and hygiene, reading road maps, and also they are motivated. There are so much motivation seminars and grievance handling. These are the most important aspect. That is, when there's a problem at home, always, now these people have children, and so they have to stay, and they have to look after children. So always there should be some counseling for them, and you must treat them as a family. And also there should be some grievance handling investment. So the training, cost of training is to be borne by these people, and it costs around 10,000 to 12,000. But they are paid mostly by the state government. They are subsidized by the state government. So drivers pay 700 rupees to the Priyadashini taxi service every day to cover the operational cost and insurance, but they can work any number of hours. And also PTS encourages drivers to own their own car, and many people are taking that option now. What are they getting? Access to sustained income of 10,000 rupees to 12,000 rupees monthly. With that, they can educate children, and they are allowed to take their taxi home. And also the founder knows every woman by name. Now all these are positives, and these are some of the very innovative social media campaigns they undertook during wicket. Predict the bowler with maximum wickets in the test match starting 7th December 2020 and get up to 50% off on your next ride in Mumbai. But they had a big issue in COVID-19. The context we are looking at in our forum today, like many organizations, social purpose organization had a challenge, and what we know is that in an economic downturn, the nonprofit and social purpose organizations are the first to be affected, because people they will stop donating money. Businesses will have to look after their own businesses. They don't have time to look after, look after charities. And but at the same time, now these are the time many people are without jobs, and the social problems will be mounting. And this is an interesting irony. That is, on one side, you are not getting donations. At the same time, the demand for social services becoming more and more. Now, the taxi industry had an interesting scenario, because in many governments during COVID-19, they had certain essential services that included public transport and including taxi services. But at the same time, with the COVID-19 was rapidly increasing, particularly in India, they were faced with all the hygiene requirements, social distancing, you must wear a mask, and also getting vaccinated. So PTS, Priyadashini, took that initiative, and they led that campaign, educating people on the need for vaccination. And they did a very positive role, and also educating their drivers, wearing a mask, and also maintaining a distance, and all the requirements by the required by the government and also by state governments. Now, this is the general scenario. You can see that I mentioned that they are still not successful. They believe that now they have 200 taxi permits given by the state government, and they have only 20 drivers right now. But they are very, very, happy and contented lot. They're happy to work with Priyadashini. They work as a family. the PTS believes that if you have got 40 taxis, then you are reaching the critical mass to sustain this social enterprise. And also at the same time, they are getting so much support from the state government, from the businesses, and everyone increasingly understand the value of this venture. So these are the strategic issues they are facing. Will this profession be acceptable to women to join without fear? And there are many positives we discussed earlier. And Priyadashini, the people who have already joined are contented with their money, with the job satisfaction. All these are positives. Can the mission of women empowerment be achieved? It is evident. It is happening. These women are from very low socioeconomic backgrounds, and some are coming up from their abused husbands, and at the lowest level of poverty, big families with children, maybe 2 or 3 children, and no income. So this is the first time they are tasting the value of an income and how that income can be helpful to look after the families. And also, can the social enterprise be sustainable? The business model, can it be sustainable? Now, one issue is that they have seen that women-only taxi service. Now, there's going to be a problem. That means you can't accommodate other passengers. Of course, they say that they're accommodating the families as well. Now, it is about the scalability. That is, if you want to sustain, if these people to earn a reasonable amount of money, you must have enough passengers. And if you are going for a larger number of passengers, then there can be issue about the safety. These are key issue in many social enterprises. We saw that in Australia, there was a social enterprise supporting the Aborigines, the Adivasi. That means the first Australians. And in general, they don't want to go and see a doctor. So what they did was they opened a dedicated doctor service, what we call general practice service. And so they were trying to make it sustainable. It couldn't because you need enough patients to make it sustainable. What they later did was they opened it up to the general Australian public. So these are the issues they have to confront with. And also, should PTS invest more in expanding in the service? That is, should they invite investors in the social enterprise, and will they be happy with the return they are getting? Now, this is the general scenario, and these are generally common to all the social enterprises, balancing mission and money. This is where we are bowing 2 goats. On one side, we have to look after the social mission, and on the other side, we must look after the commercial sustainability of the organization. But on a very positive note, what we can see is that PTS has a 50% retention rate of women. They are going through a rigorous training program. And because of the very motivating environment, Priyadashini Taxi Service has been able to retain around 50% of the people whom they train. And so this is because a woman in the Indian society has to have the consent from everyone involved in a family because she's not a decision maker. And also, if anything happens at home, hers is the first job that goes out of the window. The ones who have stayed with us are women who are primary earners in the family. But on a very positive note, the founder is very confident. And she argued that if men can do it, women can do it better. And the comfort factor is for the drivers is that it is all women enterprise. So with all these beautiful thoughts, they are very hopeful of achieving sustainability. That means achieving sustainable income. So with this, let me conclude my presentation. And this is, I mean, in general, this highlight the dilemma they are facing, as I highlighted again and again in this presentation. This is what we have to concentrate. And this is where we have to train social enterprises, social entrepreneurs, to motivate them, train them, and also provide networks support to them. So with that, let me conclude my presentation, and let me also wish success to this forum and to the participants, and also thank you everyone for this opportunity again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Your insights have most certainly added value to this summit. I now invite Dr. Lalit Velamadage from Lankan Social Ventures, collaborative partner working with grassroots social enterprises, to address the gathering.
The Reverend guests and ladies and gentlemen, let me first thank the universities of Uvelassa and Peradeniya for organizing this Sri Lanka Social Enterprise Summit for the second time. As a pioneering social enterprise support provider and an incubator in Sri Lanka, it's a great privilege for us at Lankan Social Ventures to join the two universities as a partner for this summit for the second time. We consider this as a great opportunity for us to work together for further our objectives and take the social enterprise sector forward to create more social impact in our country. Considering the global and local challenges we are facing these days, the need for social enterprises is felt more than ever before. We have three main challenges to overcome at this moment. The first being the economic crisis, where we are in right now, locally and also the globally, due to various economic, financial, and also various other the reason, like the conflict in Ukraine. Secondly, the social and economic exclusion. We find that our society and our economies are becoming more exclusive, but we need to think about creating more inclusive economies, inclusive societies, and also ensure that the marginalized and vulnerable people are included in our all economic development and social development efforts. And thirdly, the climate change, where all the countries are experiencing various climate-related catastrophes, and whether they're being human-made or natural, I think we have a responsibility to overcome and also address these challenges. So, as social entrepreneurs and ecosystem players, what is our role and duty? So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a bigger role to play now by accelerating our involvement, by creating our actions to address these challenges. First, we need to think and act innovatively. innovation is a must, and we all need to think innovatively. And we can combine our past experience and the current and the future needs of people and the planet and come up with innovative solutions. To do this, we need innovative solutions and innovative actions. As policymakers, as universities, academics, and the learning centers, and business support service providers, we need to look at how we can support our young people to become innovators and also entrepreneurs who can create more impact on our people and also the planet. How we can support SMEs and the communities to sustain and progress by enhancing their business performance. But they should do it by safeguarding our people and also the planet. We need to ensure that the markets operate fairly and also equitable manner. And also we need to ensure the finances are channeled fairly and equitable manner. We need more and more socially inclusive financial models and also the financial instruments with impact in mind. We need to ensure that the young people will get right knowledge, advice, and also the guidance to become socially passionate, innovative, and also the impactful innovators and entrepreneurs. I have no doubt that the knowledge generated by this conference will pave the way for a successful dialogue as to how we are going to address these challenges through enhancing the role of social enterprises and also partnership working. We firmly believe that partnership working can bring a lot of benefits. That's why we from the social enterprise sector increasingly involving in the universities, the policymakers, and also the financial sector, development practitioners to take the social enterprise the concept or the model integrated into our daily activities. Finally, I urge everyone to think socially and act socially. And we all get together to make our country and the world a better place, not for us, and also our future generation to live. And thank you for being here today. And also thank you for inviting us to be a partner for this the conference. And I wish a successful conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let us now listen to a message from another collaborative partner, Glasgow Caledonian University of Scotland.
Hello, everybody, and it's great to be here. Well, I'm very sorry that I'm not here. I'm in my room in Edinburgh recording this, but I'm so delighted that you invited me to join you here virtually at least, and by this video recording. I'm so sorry that I can't be there today. I'm going to give you just a quick presentation more than anything, so you don't have to look at my face for 10 minutes. So if you'll allow me to share my screen. Really, as I said, I'm so sorry not to be there. I think many of you will have heard me talk in the past about how much I enjoyed my time in Sri Lanka. I actually went there for my honeymoon, and it was a memorable time that I had there. I'm also conscious that the relationship that I have made, the friendships I have made with the people in Ubawelesa and in Peradeniya universities have been made a great impression of me. And I think the whole idea of changing the nature of the relationship between our countries and our universities is so important. The project that we worked on together, Social Enterprise Support in Sri Lanka, which was a really strong partnership between the two universities in Sri Lanka and ourselves, as well as various entities, and of course the British Council. It was a really rewarding project. The structure of the project, which was conceptualized back in 2019, was really based on 3 different areas. One was to really look at a preparation program with the senior management and the stakeholders within the universities to see how we could develop a program for supporting social enterprise. And then a series of capacity building workshops on incubation, as well as ideation workshops with students, and then mentoring support for new social enterprises, which we developed a program for that. And then the final component to create an academic modules for a generic program, and also for specialized modules to develop those as well. And as well as the mentoring support for social enterprises, some mentoring support for academic staff, and of course the final event. And it's really great to see a year after the 2021 summit, we're here again with another summit. And thank you so much again to Kumudu for inviting me. I think obviously the major challenge that we had in the project was finding ourselves suddenly having to work virtually. And it was a real challenge, I know, developing pitching workshops with students when there was communication was so challenging. And but of course we carried on, and I think that really the project taught me so much about what can be achieved virtually, but also what can't be achieved virtually. And it was a really amazing experience. And I think one of the things I really would like to take away from this project, and I think that was successful, was this creation of tools that we can use virtually to help develop incubation. And since then, we've used this tool in a number of projects, and this site, this platform that we created, now has over 500 members from over 40 different countries. So people who've signed up to it, who are still using, please continue to use this, because it's continuing to develop over time. Finally, I just wanted to say that this project has also taught me the extraordinary resilience of the Sri Lankan people. I said that I'd been there on my honeymoon, and I remember talking to people who were just recovering from the tsunami and who had lost all their businesses and were building their businesses again. And here you find yourselves in a new crisis, and a crisis which is really a crisis that we will eventually see throughout the world, but you are kind of at the forefront of this. And one thing that I've always been amazed by is the incredible resilience of the Sri Lankan people, and how you have this sense of optimism and this sense of endeavor. And I really take my hats off to you. And all I can say is that as soon as I can, I would love to come out and see you all face to face at last, and to see the fantastic projects which I'm sure you'll be developing. So thank you for inviting me, Kumudu, and thank you for giving me space here to talk a little bit about the project. And please, as I say, stay in touch, and let's hopefully see each other in the very near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I now invite Dr. S. Maheswaran and Dr. Kumudu Jayawardena, Summit co-chairs, to present souvenirs to the following individuals. I invite Dr. S. Maheswaran to present a souvenir to the Vice Chancellor of Uvavelas University, Professor Janathala Ratnasekara. I invite Dr. Kumudu Jayawardena to present a souvenir to the Vice Chancellor of the University of Peradeniya, Professor M.D. Lamawansa. I invite Dr. Kumudu Jayawardena to present a souvenir to Dr. S. Maheswaran, co-chair of the summit from the University of Peradeniya. I invite Dr. Kumudu Jayawardena to present a souvenir to UBL Director of University of Peradeniya, Professor Roshan Yapa. I invite Dr. S. Maheswaran to present a souvenir to UBL Director of Uvavelas University, Professor Amila Ratnayaka. I invite Dr. S. Maheswaran to present a souvenir to the OTS Director, Professor J.P.R.C. Ranasinghe. I invite Dr. S. Maheswaran to present a souvenir to Dr. Lalit Velamadage from Lankan Social Ventures. I invite Dr. S. Maheswaran to present a souvenir to the Chair of the Research Committee, Professor H.M. J.C. Pittavala. Thank you, sir, and thank you, madam.
We have now arrived at the end of the inaugural session. To deliver the vote of thanks, I invite Dr. Kumudu Jayawardena, Summit Co-Chair, Uvavelas University.
Okay. Very good morning, everyone, Venerable Hero, to Vice Chancellors, the librarian, and all my colleagues from Peradeniya and Uvavelas University, and dear students, and keynote speaker, Professor J. Veeravaladana. First of all, I wish to extend my sincere thanks to our chief guest, Professor Lamawansa, Vice Chancellor, University of Peradeniya. And next, I want to thank the Vice Chancellor of Uvavelas University for guiding us in all the aspects in this event. Thank you very much, sir. And next, thank you very much all the deans of the faculties, all the HODs, and the central directors. Thank you very much for your support, because when I wanted to go and do orientations for all the faculties. So you were very lavish in giving some time for me. Thank you very much, all the heads and the teams. And then thank you very much, the registrar, the deputy registrar, Mr. Navala, Bursa, and everyone for putting your supporting hands. And then, I would like to extend a special thank for our keynote speaker. So for allocating a few minutes from his busy schedule. And thank you very much, sir, for bringing very insightful insights into this audience. And next, thank you very much, Dr. Lalit, for collaborating with us and for agreeing to march this journey collaboratively. Thanks a lot for that. And thanks are due for the GCU as well. And I would like to extend my special thanks to Dr. Sampath Dharmadasa for his tremendous support in Social Enterprise Support Sri Lanka in last year as the former director, UBL. And thank you, UBL director, Professor Amila Ratnayaka, although he's not physically in this forum. Thank you, everyone. And if it's not without your help, it's definitely impossible to put this summit together. So thank you, everyone, and have a productive time. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. To conclude the proceedings, let us now rise for the national anthem.
Thank you. All guests, participants, and organizers are invited to the second floor of the staff learning building for refreshments. The technical sessions will begin at 11:30, and we invite all of you to join us in the technical sessions. Hope you have a pleasant day. Thank you very much again.